It is definitely an interesting week for me too. I did a collab with another artist this week on Reddit, and I was really happy to see the response that we got just from just people being like, "Oh man, you timed this one perfectly." Like it's I did a full little animated sequence for her, so I'll be showing that off a little bit too. But t-
Excited.
yeah, but today with the monster class, it'll be a little more loosey goosey than my other streams because I feel like we're going to kind of go ham on on photo bashing today. Like that's really what my plan is just to make awful looking chimeras that we turn into really cool looking things with Midjourney. So,
I love that
uh,
idea.
You said go ham. That means I have to make some kind of ham monstrosity now.
it, oh yes, absolutely. I'm fully expecting that. I even thought about like what if we just kept modifying Victor's VTuber model for today? Like just made him more and more intense or more and more weird, you know? But the problem I had with that was it would just show my webcam all the time. You know what I mean? I would have to like quadrant out very specific parts of my monitor so that you guys couldn't see me. uh, and I just the idea of staring into awkward me with my, like the an awkward view of up my nostrils while I'm, fiddling with Victor's character model doesn't sound nearly as exciting to me as just photo bashing a bunch of weird Garfield memes and other things together. So we'll see what happens today.
I'm like holding myself back from making Halloween sound effects.
Let me
um,
minus this one out a little bit here. When it comes to this comic in particular, this was Tiff and Eve. This is a collab I did with her, and I used Pika Labs to create some of the lightning effects and all that stuff. But almost all of it is actually more Midjourney because I'm controlling with styles. The it reverting back to realism because I just take away Niji from the prompt after I was done with the comic, and that forced her two characters to look far more fleshed out and real. As long as I was doing it as a subtle variation. So what I'm doing with this comic is I'm taking advantage of that behavior. It's like the make anime real workflow I have, but in reverse. So this was fun. I enjoyed making this one. Um, and then she actually had her own as well. And then I promise we'll get into the Monster Night because that's actually where I got inspired. Oh no, it's not this one. Where is that? I wonder. Let's see. Oh, there we go. There we go. So this was her comic. I'm gonna just go to the four panel. This one was a lot more wordy and heavier in that regard, but it's also the most I've seen Victor drawn by a traditional ink and pen artist, so that's really cool for me to see. And also it's very revealing about this because I wanted everyone to know that Victor without anime is actually really short. Uh, like I mostly wanted him to be this like this this kind of snotty kid of when he's not when he's not completely decked out. I Let me just say, I definitely spooked or upset a couple people with this video because it when I tried to post it online, a lot of the anti-AI people kind of went down on me for it. Like they got super downvoted very early in the day because there was clearly somebody linked it to somebody else and they didn't like it. But I really like it. So I'm gonna play that for you guys really quick here. I am I have a little anime that I turned one of my comics into a proper anime, and this thing will be coming out more fully later. It's currently on Instagram if you want to check it out. But here you go. All right. It's a little blurry probably over Discord, but the main thing to kind of pull out of that is just really how much actual animation I was able to get done with Pika Labs and Midjourney together. So I'm really excited about actually being able to produce complete animes now. Like that's ridiculous.
That's
I, I'm I'm
awesome.
I'm super stoked for it.
Is there a link for that somewhere?
Yeah, let me grab that real quick. Good old Instagrams.
I
I
usually have all
actually,
the links, but no link today.
I'm I just really don't like Instagram, honestly. I hate how
Yeah.
conforming it is. So that's the video we just watched here. It just posted it into VC text. And if you want the comic version of it, it's split into two pieces because it's too damn big. So I'm leaning really heavily into Victor themes here, which is basically like a combination of like of horror or like really villainous anime tropes and excuse me, this is the most appropriate word for it, but and shit posting. Like there's a good combination of both that are inside of this comic. I am doing a ton of anime references. Everything from like Yu Yu Hakusho to Full Metal Alchemist are all referenced in this comic. So I really wanted to like hit that homage really hard on this one. I don't normally do that, so that's fun. Yeah. So the main thing I want to do today is we're going to be photo bashing, and photo bashing is essentially the combination of two images quite quickly using an image manipulator like Photoshop or something, right? So as an example of that, I actually made a subreddit that I'll probably find time to keep digging more things into. I call it Space Jam 2 because I really want to make a sequel to Space Jam that's proper and not terrible like New Legacy was. So I think that if I get anyone focused on anything, it's just please make please remake Space Jam for me. I would really like that if you did. So I'm only posting this just because it's gonna give you guys a place to share things that we make today, right? Yeah, I really want to populate this Discord too. So if you have a Reddit account, you can post to, and I'm posting this in VC text. Um, you can post the Space Jam too. I won't be checking in on that subreddit during the stream, but I will show you a couple examples of the Chimera monsters that we'll be making today. Let's start with a really tame one at first, okay? We have Tuxedo John. Um, this honestly made me laugh pretty good when I made this, just because of just how silly the idea is. But when I ran it as a style cute, I was really impressed with the results. Um, like I put the hat back on him, but that smug look is so perfect for this little chimera character here. That's the most tame thing that we're probably going to be making today is in that vein. And then if we look at another example of one that I made, this one I actually made for Tiffany's collab, and I drew over this one quite heavily. So this one is probably a little more of an upgrade compared to some of the ones we'll be making today. But it's we call it Garfellington. So that's spooky. In terms of like actual like monsters and stuff like that, we really want to emphasize with the imagery just some sort of action that's happening, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to ask the chat to post in VZ text suggestions, and we will pull those suggestions, and then I will photo bash them for you guys, and then we'll run them as as a bunch of different prompts and stuff like that. If you guys got friends that are that can hop into this chat, please invite them, because honestly this is going to be a lot goofier than my normal streams. We're going to be hitting all sorts of trademark and copywritten characters because we can, and it's going to be fun. But I really wanted to emphasize what this looks like here. So I just took John as the Zoidberg and then ran them together, and look at this like creepy looking squid dude. um like 100%, this is the kind of like monsters that we're going to be making today, is just something spooky, probably with some sort of villainous intent, obviously. But yeah, let's do this really quick. I'm going to take your all's first suggestion inside of VC text. So go ahead and start posting ideas. I already see one. We have from Smokable, Edward Squidward hands. Perfect. This is exactly what I want. Let's go ahead and grab Squidward. Make sure to post your suggestions though. Like honestly, you could just throw things at the wall. Like you can just say I want to see this, and just we'll figure out something funny to put it on, right? So I also need Edward Scissorhands. So let's try to find two images here that that might mesh relatively well in terms of the body shape and stuff, which is going to be silly. But let's see here. We have Squidward. I'm gonna pop open browser here. We've got some squids here. And I think probably a handsome one will work. I love handsome Squidward. But he's showing his hands in a bit of a silly way with the pink shirt here, so we might do that one. But let's grab an Edward Scissorhands. I think this one is probably going to work the most for now. And let's see. Yeah, this will probably work. Opening up random websites is oh, this is an AI website. What the hell? Civet AI? Weird. All right, I'm not going to use an AI image for the sake of the injection though, because I do want it to be pretty accurate. I've heard about people complaining about AI flooding on Google now, particularly not being able to find images that they were looking for because they keep getting linked to AI stuff. Yeah, I think this one actually I think works. And then let's grab a Squidward that works. I think we should go with let's just go with this one because it's funny. Okay, cool. We're gonna grab Edward Scissorhands here and drop him into Photoshop. And then I'm taking Squidward, just throw it in on top of that real quick. It doesn't really matter that there's a bit of blurriness or whatever between the two assets here. So I'm like, part of me doing this quite rough and whatnot is the fact that like it doesn't matter. Like with Midjourney, it figures a lot of stuff out and it can infer a lot from what you're doing. So I'm going to use this just selection tool here, and we're gonna just give Edward Scissorhands Squidward's face real quick, and then we're gonna see what happens. Let's see, just a moment. So there's a trick you can do in Photoshop where you go to select, modify, and then expand. Now this is kind of a dangerous thing because you can make really soft edges, like rounded edges with this, but you can quickly expand your selections so that you get a less of a white outline around things. And you can see I just did it by 1 pixel and it already improved it, but let's do it by 2. Modify, select, modify, expand, then set that to 2. And now if I delete that, we have a nice clean, or much cleaner effect doing there. We don't need his body. Well, actually, you know what we should do? We should probably save both of them. So we'll do it. We'll do the Freaky Friday right here. Okay. So let's go ahead and take this image, pull it over here. Okay. And now we're gonna I wish I had like a lightning effect. That'd be fun. Just to be like, they're fusing together right now. But it's very easy to do because you can just, as long as the imagery kind of, makes you laugh, probably whatever Midjourney does will also make you laugh. So I'm going to copy this, paste that like so, and then do the same thing with Edward Scissorhands here. But because he's a humanoid, like just a live action human here, I'm actually going to use object selection, so my computer's going to lag for a second. But this should do a better job at selecting Edward Scissorhands here, at least in terms of getting all that hair. There we go. Look at that. Did a great job. Good enough anyway. Yeah. All right. Let me copy that over. And then we're just going to delete. It's seeing an alpha channel in a head is always really funny because you can do this. You can just take whatever head you have and then slide that inside of behind the alpha, right? So there's a little bit of silliness you can do just with that. But today, at least for this one, the way I'm thinking is that we're gonna just paste that into there, and we're gonna submit both of these. So we got this one, and then we got this one. I think that obviously the Squidward head is gonna be, I think, the silliest here. But I mean, I'm already laughing at this, guys. Like this is But we do need to fill the background because the alpha channel is going to add some weird noise to it. So the only thing I'm going to do is just come into here, do a selection like this, and then probably just edit fill instead of doing like anything generative. And take in that last little bit that is part of a, I guess, a weird collar that generated or just created. Then we'll fill that as well. That's where it is. There we go. Okay. Okay, yes, awesome. Thank you so much for this list. That's awesome. And is it good enough to stay? Yes, Mavis, we're doing photo bashing today. We're gonna be making monsters with photo bashing. So I'm mostly focused on and I know that if you're in the chat here, Mavis, you're gonna throw yourself in here too. But I highly recommend we do the photo bash. And then I'm just gonna throw a background onto there that will make this a bit cleaner. There you go. Okay. Why is he giving that tiny finger here? It's making me laugh almost as much as Squidward right now. Let me just flip this around. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to take this and we'll give this a nice white background on this one. Okay. All right. Yes, I'm a big fan of whatever the hell we're doing here. Darth Vader and Leviathan. Yoda and Cthulhu. Yes, please. Yoda Barbie. Okay, yes, that could be. We probably hit an image filter with that one, but we'll see. I'll try to pick a very clothed Barbie, I guess. Just bash some eyes on random objects and see how. Yes, I definitely will do some multi-eye stuff as well. Ed and Freddy. Okay, all right. I'm liking all these suggestions here. Let's go ahead and collapse this down, and I'm going to copy this over. So we'll first do Edward Squidderhands here, and I'll be inside of VC Create for this one. And first I'll post the image. And whatever we end up making, you're welcome to go to VC Create and spin off your own stuff. You know, because it's important to recognize what at least what sort of silliness. So the whole thing we're doing here is we are essentially having Midjourney interpret everything from this by writing the two characters together. I do this on my Pokemon streams a lot, where I'm trying to make Pokemon fusions, right? So we'll do Edward Scissorhands Squidward, and we can take away words if we need to, but I want to make sure the aspect ratio kind of matches, so I'm going to go for AR23, and we'll just go with that for now. I'm sure that there's a couple like code suggestions that people are going to have and stuff too, but while that's running, Invader Nim. Nice. I like that. We're gonna have a lot of really great options here, guys. Oh my god, it's already coming back. Oh my god. Take a look at this. There we go. We got Edward Squidderhands. Oh yes. Feel free to like re-roll and right? Yeah, it's so good. I'm gonna do the one with the sword for now, but feel free to manipulate or create your own, right? It is important to remix and play around with this stuff, right? So a lot of the first result ones might look a little weird for me, but for now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna catalog all these and then post them to that subreddit I shared earlier, RJS Space Jam 2. And we're just gonna make a whole bunch of chimeras and fill up the subreddit. So yeah, awesome. Okay, cool. So let's see here. We got Edward Squidderhands here. Now I need to grab the other one. And the fact that it's the hand up on Squidward's side is really funny to me, right? That it's like he has the hand up. So we should probably give the scissor hands as well on Squidward here. So let me grab that. Scissor hands. You know, like that's when I was a kid, this was such a popular prop to get at the Halloween store was Edward Scissorhands hands. So let me grab a nice. I will just search Edward Scissorhands hands. There we go. Perfect. And let's grab, we'll grab this one. Why not? And then I will post that down here. And I'm really excited about this stream, guys. This is going to be so goofy to do with you all. I'm so not focused on being productive today. Like this is the day. This is the day to not be productive. It's better to give whatever ideas you got. So I think we should probably do one with and one without, just in case it does something funky. So I'm going to duplicate that real quick. And let's flip this image here, and then bring that down a little bit. Something like, yeah, like that. I'm actually looking at things like the thumb, right, to make sure that the thumb is in the correct orientation. And I'm also going to do one without. So let's first do the one without. We'll just copy that over. Yes. Oh wait, whoops. That's just the scissor hands. Let me get rid of that. There we go. And yeah, if you get bored at all or anything like that while I'm making these, feel free to just think of suggestions or like ask your friends about like, hey, we're doing the Monster Mash tonight. Throw me like 2 random things or whatever. All about it. So let's now we're gonna do Edward Squid Hands. I think that probably is the most appropriate name for this, whoever the hell this guy is. And we'll just kind of go with that. And then I'll do one with the hands as well. But in order to do that, I need to actually add a little bit of white to cover up his thumb here. And because we know we're collapsing everything into like flat rasterized images, we really don't need to do too much work. It's just slap that together and grab those two. So for now, let's just collapse these, sure. Then I can grab that like this. Let's see what we got for, oh, it's still running actually. Oh, no, it's right here. Perfect. Okay, look at this. This is Edward Squid Hands. It's reminding me of Salad Fingers a lot, and that doesn't help that someone said Salad Fingers earlier, but it does remind me of that. That is so funny. Let's try one with the actual scissors here. And then if you want it to get closer to what the image looks like, right? Because you gotta grab the URL, right, of whatever image you're working on. And then what you can do is, so you can say, you know, Edward Squid Hands, or so just Edward Scissorhands Squidward, just because the image no longer has his hands in it. So I'm gonna be a little strict with myself on that one, but so we got Edward Scissorhands Squidward. I'm just gonna say that. AR23, and now we can add an image code at the end. So we can add IW2, and what that's going to do is it's going to really force the image to be as close to the reference images as possible. So if you like include a bunch of URLs in here, you can kind of merge a bunch of silly stuff. I will also warn y'all that image prompts get you to some really weird places inside of Midjourney. Sometimes stuff that, you know, you probably shouldn't want to see. So it's I'm gonna upres the third one here because it's exactly what we asked for. It's the pose and everything is mostly matched. So like I'll load this one up. And then we'll immediately get to some other ones here. Let's go ahead and mute that. And then I'm gonna save this out. And let's post this to my desktop here. And then I'm gonna just call this MASH, the MASH series. So we'll put one on that. Now we're going to grab, yeah, this is the one that we just made. Look at that. It's such a perfect combination of the two. Oh the god, that's so silly. All right, let's go. Let's make another monster. Okay. I'm gonna scroll up a little bit just so people who posted one earlier get a chance. Uh, let's say let's do kinky suggestion of Porky Mouse. So Porky the pig, and then I imagine you mean Mickey Mouse, so I'm going to do both. All right, let's see here. All right, let's it's pretty generic stuff for Porky Pig here. So let's grab one that's a little bit like that's we know about like I recognize this like devilish smile here, but all these pictures are also really low res. So a little trick that you can do inside of Google is just to use the tools here. And I oftentimes either select GIF, so like whenever I'm searching for something that needs to move, then I'll do that. But for this, I'm actually going to go to size and then hit large, and that way, we maybe get some more interesting examples
Oh,
here.
the
Like,
evil grin.
yes, the evil grid. That's exactly what I was going. This is great. So we'll first drag that into Photoshop here. If it lets me, copy, and then make a new canvas, I guess. It won't let me just copy paste new canvas anymore. That's fine. All right, we got evil here, and now we got Mickey. Okay, so under images, so there is actually an evil Mickey. There is a short film that is I believe if I yeah here this short film is amazing. It is absolutely Runaway Brain is by far one of the most interesting animated films I have ever seen. For at least from Disney. Um, they actually casted their main mascot character as a villain, who gets body snatched, and Mickey's brain is inside of like a Frankenstein. And this was terrifying for kids. Absolutely terrifying to see their favorite, one of their childhood mascot characters that they most people love, seeing that turned into this demonic thing really upset a bunch of kids. So they actually do not air this short anymore. It's it's considered outside of canon for Disney, which is kind of hilarious. But what we can do is we can combine these two. But if you notice, Porky's ears are kind of cut off here. Oh wait, let me bring this over. There you go. So Porky's ears are kind of cut off here, right? So what we can do is I'm just gonna quickly outpaint some ears, and we'll just hope for the best on seeing how well it fixes this here. Because I use a lot of image interrogation inside of Photoshop, right? So that image interrogation is like, don't write anything. Just don't write anything into the prompt at all. And it kind of does magic when you're doing this stuff. Because if I wrote pig ears, it's going to look like realistic pig ears. But if I don't write anything, look at that. It's just straight up cartoon Porky pig ears. So that should be good. I'm going to collapse that down really quick, and we're going to use object selection here because that's probably a little easier. Grab his head here as I lag out. Okay, that's pretty good. We got to clean up a little bit around the ear, but no big deal. And then we have Mickey here. So let me first make this into a smart object. That's another thing about Photoshop is if you work with smart objects with Photoshop Beta, it's a lot easier to manipulate things on the fly. So like, we can kind of just come into here and put that here. And now I just hit edit contents, and now I can just quickly clean up with my my tablet pen here any sort of weird highlights, because they will show up in whatever you're manipulating here. So we'll go ahead and get rid of these. And you might see me occasionally pulling out the pen just to kind of get things done more quickly. I am quite spoiled when it comes to doing in painting now, with Midjourney, with both Midjourney and Photoshop. But at least for what we're doing today, details don't really matter too much. It's more like highlights matter more. Little things like the outlines and stuff being missing might be a little bit of an issue, but we're just gonna save this content here, and then I'll go ahead and kind of pull this up here, and we'll probably do one that's not of Scary Mickey too, but I mostly want to focus on just getting as many of these guys out as fast as possible for y'all. So let's go ahead and fill this. Okay, that should be good. That should be good. And then I'll slam that down, bring it to the slam zone, and we'll copy this over. And I probably should have Space Jam's theme song running in the background. But it's I'll save that for now. So I'll go inside of VC Create. Yeah. Yeah, if you guys have photo bashes like how Mavis provided here, we'll do this one next as well, because Mavis, he did the work. He got us some eyes on tomatoes. I definitely want to smash this onto something like like I don't know, big like Noodle Boy or something like that might be funny. The annoying orange might be
There's
funny.
Mavis's eyes.
Yes, those are Mavis's eyes. So
Because those would be to Mavis.
all right, so let's go ahead and take our image here that we made, and I'm just gonna do Porky Mickey, and we'll just see what it does with all this sort of background information too. Because of that sort of dastardly smile and the black highlight, or like rim around the eyes and stuff, we might get some interesting results out of that. But I do want to quickly photo bash. Let's do like something really simple like this stick figure for the tomato. Just because I just want to emphasize what happens here when we give a little bit of a direction, and it's as simple as like a stick figure or whatever. So I'll grab this one here, and I have so many tabs so quickly. All right, and now I'll just get rid of the black. I need to increase my tolerance. Do like 15. Cool. All right, and then another smart object for this one. Why does that look so funny to me already? Like, just yay! I'm a monster. Let's see. Let's just go with that there. That works. I'm curious what this does, but because we have such strong contrasts and stuff inside of here, I think we'll probably get something silly. So grab that. And now, Happy Tomato Boy. He's the Happy Tomato Boy. Okay. All right. And whatever you guys make by the end of this, right? I will be collecting onto that subreddit. You're welcome to post there if you want, but I will be taking whatever we end up kind of generating here, and turning that into content for that subreddit, just for fun. Look at that! Look at that! Look at him! Okay, I gotta up-res that fourth one here, because that's really funny. He doesn't have the multiple eyes, but it doesn't matter because it's just he's got the pose, right? So there we go. That's great. Now let's go ahead and go back to VC. Yeah, here we go. Look at that. It's a tomato that's gained sentience. All right, let's go back to text here. Get another suggestion from you guys. My original idea was to do like a roulette kind of thing, right? Where it's just like everyone gives suggestions, and then like a ball drops on a roulette board or whatever, and whatever one it lands on is we make. But I figured just having you guys spam VC text makes a lot more sense for this. So we got a handful of suggestions from Kinky. I'm actually gonna double back on Kinky's list here when we get a little lighter on suggestions. But I want to do let's do Darth Vader Leviathan. I'm gonna just go down the list here. So this one is from Susu, Missouri. I'm so sorry if that's supposed to be okay. That's not Missouri, the state. That state is definitely Missouri. I can tell you that right now. I've never really enjoyed my time inside of Missouri. Feel free to correct me on that one, but or tell me otherwise. I mean, but let's go ahead and get the VC create and start a new kind of canvas here. Actually, I better save this one out just so that we have it. I'm gonna have so much junk on my desktop, and I'm so excited to have to filter it all. You might see me fiddling with files, and I apologize if that takes me a second to do. I'll do this one soon. This makes me laugh. Okay, fine, Mavis. I'll do this one real fast. Just because you made me laugh with that one. Or are you actually doing it already? All right, you're just gonna run it. You'll run it. You got this. You're a very talented Midjourney kid. So I'm gonna let you have fun with that one, real quick. But let's get the text suggestion here, which was Darth Vader Leviathan. Okay, so we have Darth Vader. All right, and then the Leviathan. Oh, Darth Revan. I can't spell. All right. Okay. All right. Not too familiar with this monster, but I know what it is though. I am familiar with the name at least, but I think this one probably works the best. Let's grab that one. I think it would be really funny to give him lightsabers. Just two giant lightsabers hanging out in those hands. So we might do something like that, but let me grab a good Vader, like a profile of Vader. So let's do profile. All right, sweet. And now I'm just going to object select this one. We'll see if it's able to handle it because it's a lot of highlights. Oh, it did most of the work. Oh, that just the default selection works better. Okay, cool. I'm gonna copy that now. Paste that. And let's cut off the rest of the body here. Actually, you know what? It probably makes more sense for us to do this in reverse, to where the Leviathan's head is on Vader. But for the sake of doing both, though, I'm going to extend the canvas down and then bring that here. And let's do a object selection on the Leviathan as well, at least on his head. All right, that's good enough. I love the new AI tools from Photoshop. They really make my life a million times easier and also make my job so much more accessible for people. My God, it's ridiculous now. The fact that tool is like number 4 now, it's like literally right up there on the top, is kind of showing you how much faith Adobe has in AI to solve big problems for people. And one of the big problems is just getting a decent mask. Because that like literally makes the difference between whether or not you're making trash or not. And this is getting us far better results than we would have done even just a little bit ago. So I'll go ahead and grab that helmet here. And I think it's kind of funny if we did it as a like if he's like looking down at this person, but like very, very much like this, like just almost condescendingly looking down. So I think this works, something like that. And yeah, we'll just run with that. I know you really don't have to worry too much about like jagged edges and stuff, but because there's a little bit here, I'm gonna go with this. Oops. Then rasterize that. I probably should have like cleaned my one of my hard drives up first, just so that we can get a little bit of make sure my computer doesn't explode from having too many images, but we'll be all right. We'll be just fine. I did purge a couple of old files and stuff not too long ago. So all right, we'll clean up this one here and then post that to VC Create. Whenever I'm posting stuff, there you go. There's the Mid-Journey boat in Squidward in SpongeBob. That's amazing. It looks great. It really does actually look really. It looks much better than I was expecting. My God. Okay. Yeah.
Love Vader.
The ancient posting Vader. Is that Roy from
That's
Smash
Marth
Brothers?
Vader.
Marth Vader. Okay, that's perfect. I love that. I love Marth Vader. Again, you guys feel free to post your own chimeras and stuff inside of, because everything that when we're done with this stream, I'm going to dig through everything in VC Create, and so we're gonna do Darth Leviathan and then post that to the subreddit. But look at this, look at this, look at these, look at. Oh, I love the bottom right one just because it's like it's like a really good combination of the two. But we got some really fun results out of this one. Like that's really cool actually. The I would say that the second and the fourth one are the coolest. But you almost got a perspective of the guy who's not even in the image reference. Like because if you look at this little wizard dude standing there, he's not in the image reference at all. So it's inferring that based on based on other images inside of Midjourney that there's probably a guy facing him or something like that. It has nothing to do with it being able to know what this image is. It's just the fact that that's what image prompting is getting us to. It's getting us to these weird places. So it's really cool. Okay. Yeah, we Marth Vader's already coming out. I like the idea of comic book Marth Vader. And this is also, by the way, if you kind of make these chimeras and you notice that they're incredibly repeatable, like you're always getting the same recognizable character without issue, you can actually use this as the basis of one of your character continuities. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's hop back to VC text and get another suggestion. I got to save this one out though. All right, next suggestion. We got Yoda Cthulhu. This is going to be pretty similar, honestly, just because of the tentacles. So I'm going to try to diversify this result a little bit. All right, so we got a bunch of Yodas here. You can see already an AI Yoda is number 6, 7, yeah, or no, number 8. An AI image is number 8 on Google Images now. So because it's on freaking Facebook. But let's go ahead and grab Cthulhu here. I also realized I didn't need anything, so I probably should have done that prior. But it's all good. It's all good. Let's see here. I'll probably grab myself a granola here in a bit. If I now go to the Call of Cthulhu as a Dr. Seuss book, that's funny. Okay. So we have Yoda. I'm thinking that we do Yoda's body with Cthulhu's face, right? But I don't think that's going to be as funny or interesting because of it's a lot of tentacles, right? So it's basically just going to give us more tentacles. So I think I'll grab this because it's a little different than what we've been doing. Go ahead and paste this into Photoshop, assuming I still have it in my, yeah, there we go. And get rid of the background. And we'll get rid of the weird head thing as well. Like we said, we're doing photo bashing, so it's really not that important to worry about little details like how hard or jagged your edges are or whatever. But we will need to grab a Yoda now that kind of looks right with this. So we'll probably pick one like this, just because it's he's in an action pose. Actually, you know what? This one is a more iconic image of Yoda. So let's go ahead and grab that. It's a really small picture, actually. The only reason I don't like to use very, very small pictures is just the fact that it leaves a little bit of interpretation for the bit crunching side of things. So let's go ahead and this is a very well-known pose and stuff from him. So let's do that. Paste that into there. Then we'll grab Cthulhu's head here and just drag it into the other canvas. I feel like I've seen this Cthulhu before. Like, is this like the Baldur's Gate, like Cthulhu looking guy? Kind of looks like him. I haven't played Baldur's Gate yet, Baldur's Gate 3, but eventually I will. I just know that it's one of those games that I'm going to lose 2 weeks of my life almost instantly as soon as I start playing it. So I've been purposely avoiding it. Let's see here about getting it. I want to make sure the hands are separated enough. Yeah, that's good. Let's go with this. And I know it's a figurine of Yoda, so I want to get rid of some of the figurine like platform that's here. Actually, I'll just do that there. Just so that we don't encourage suddenly a minifig to show up. And then get rid of any sort of like confusing elements, like this background here being separated from the rest of it means that it's going to use that subtle light data, especially things like shadows and stuff. It's going to be, it's going to affect the final result. So I'm just cleaning this up a little bit. Okay. There we go. We got some Cthulhu action here. So let's go ahead and grab this and then paste that into our VC Create. I'm looking at some of the monsters you guys are making, and it's really fun to see, like, the fact that like SpongeBob, like if we do SpongeBob as a monster, it would probably be something that is like I would do. You know what? I would do the from 2001: A Space Odyssey, but it's SpongeBob, right? And that's more of a like just do the photo bash and see what it looks like. But I personally, I think anything that's kind of blocky or cubular shape would be really funny to see as SpongeBob. So I'm gonna grab this. The cat moth, nice. That's cute. I actually really like that cat moth. That's funny. So now we're gonna do Cthulhu Yoda. So you notice that we mostly just got Yoda back, right? Like we got a little bit of creepiness from him. But let's go ahead and emphasize just with a remix here. Hit reroll. And then we'll do it's probably because I didn't spell Cthulhu right either, but there we go. Yeah. Yeah, it's just there you go. Cthulhu, Yoda, and then I'm gonna put a more of a stronger emphasis on Cthulhu. Let's do 1.5. And that was just putting a higher weight on Cthulhu. These cat bugs. Look at these cat bugs. Oh, cat bugs. I like the cat bugs. All right, so if we put a higher weight on Cthulhu, we got some really cool, like it's driving us farther away from Yoda, which is good. The freaking femboy anime character guy. Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you for that. Perfect. All right, sweet. Let's move on to the next suggestion before it gets really, really awkward inside of that chat. Let's see here. So we got Yoda Barbie now. And because we, had Yoda earlier, we'll put Yoda's head on Barbie. Barbie. And this is true with the Barbie movie. Yeah, I loved the Barbie movie actually. It was really good. I really did like it. I was really worried that people were going to be like, "Oh, it's like super, activist." It's not. It's actually just really freaking funny and really enlightening. The only negative I see from the Barbie movie is that it's going to spawn a whole bunch of Mattel Universe films, and I do not want to watch, another Battleship movie or whatever. Like there's going to be some real trash that comes out because of how successful Barbie got. But yeah, that's just my opinion. And this is an example of a character that is so popular that it might have like a mask or something that we can quickly pull from, that we don't have to worry about like cropping it and stuff. But here's the thing: as soon as you start body parting like some of this stuff, you're gonna instantly find like 3D models and other like 3D printed related stuff. Because that's what people do with 3D printing, is they're just trying to make masks or use parts of it. So let's get rid of the word head. Let's go with this one, just because it's actually no, this one here. That is probably the most iconic picture of Yoda. So let's do that one. And I can, I could extend the canvas and blah, 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 blah. But I've gotten in the habit of always doing smart objects now because I'm doing so much generative stuff inside of Photoshop now. So it's just a lot easier for me to compartmentalize these things. My computer's gonna lag out real good trying to do this. There we go. All that hair is going to be considered, so it really lags on my computer a bit. Look at that. This is another misconception about Photoshop. If you see marquee lines, that doesn't mean that it's only selecting inside of the marquee. There's a feather that's applying to this. So if I now copy this over here, you'll see that the hair that's there is actually kind of softened a little bit as it tries to make this work. So, or at least tries to make your selection work. So I'll shrink that down. Something like that. Probably do some tweaks by the time we're done here, but there we go. And again, if you guys got monster suggestions, please post them in VC text. I will slowly but surely be getting to all of them. Okay, this is making me laugh because of the blonde hair. Yeah, let's go with that. That's funny. Okay. And if we need to, we can actually get these to mesh a little bit by doing hold control, click select. I do this a lot to fix gradients inside of generated imagery. I'll use the gradient tool. I'll grab a nearby color to where I'm trying to transition from, and then add a new layer with the selection from the layer underneath it, and then just gradient that up. But I need to make sure the color actually matches here real quick. Boop. And then we'll just gradient up this. And at the very least, when we photo bash this, the transition will be cleaner between the two. So let's give that a try. And we'll also see if Midjourney gets angry at us for having too much thigh. I feel like whenever I'm working like with Midjourney and like particularly scantily clad women and stuff, it's like I feel like I'm getting my knees slapped in middle school or something like that about wearing a skirt that's too short or something. Like I've seen that trope before. So let's go ahead and I'm not going to worry about codes, Mavis. I'm sorry, but I'm not. We're trying to get things done quickly. So now we got this. Look at that. Look at that Cthulhu Yoda. That's great. We got Barbie Yoda. Barbida. I'm gonna do Barbida first, just because it's a silly word combination. And then Barbie Yoda. We'll let that render here. Again, whatever you guys don't see, if you guys are a little bored on the stream, it's because you need to go to VC Create right now, and you need to look at everything everyone else is making and just slide through. And if you want to, feel free to upres or remix any of them. I will be posting them onto the subreddit. So, oh my God, look at this! Look at this! Look what it did! Hold on. I have to open this up bigger so you guys can see this. Look at this! That literally looks like a toy that like Craftsman on YouTube would make, right? Like where he's just mashing together two toys. Like this is awesome.
Oh my God, I love it.
Look at it. Look, and even got the silver hair on the third one. I really like the third one a lot. Like I'm gonna upres that really quick. These are some really cool monsters, guys. I really dig what you guys are doing with these. But I wanted to show this one higher res here. What impresses me the most about this is not only do we have the doll hair, the skin is even like folded and wrinkled like Yoda, right? But it's all like crumply and weird and it clearly plastic. Oh my God, this is amazing. This is an amazing result. Um, and you know, like it's let's go for the next one. I feel like I'm gonna be like so burnt after this stream just because it's a machine gun for me, but I am so down for this. I'm so down. Oh no, I saw the femboy moth. Okay, so let's grab let's see here. Pee Wee Herman Invader Zim. Okay, yes, yes, yes. This suggestion is from Waxin. This is 100% up my alley here. So let's first grab Pee Wee Herman. I'm sad that Paul Rubens died. He's so great. I love Paul Rubens. I'm so sad that he died. I actually just watched a review of you know, Big Adventure, Pee Wee's Big Adventure, and it's a lot of like this it is amazing because my wife had actually never seen it, right? And I was like, that's a sin. You really need to see that movie. But the thing about it is like that was Tim Burton's first like feature film. You know what I mean? Is Pee Wee's Big Adventure, and like if you actually watch it, you'll recognize why. Like it's so characteristically uh um Tim Burton. So let's now go into
Like what was it? Danny Elfman music? Danny
yeah,
Elfman music?
it's also Danny Elfman's first movie. Like it's crazy how many firsts that movie is. Danny Elfman being like the guy who did the Simpsons theme song and so many other he was in a band called Oingo Boingo at the time. And Oingo Boingo is like one of those bands that are really really like problematic. Like you got to be careful what you share from their stuff sometimes. But I dig it. I dig some of the music, and they have a really weird movie that was made in their basement. Okay, let's see here. We have that's right, Invader Zim. Okay.
There was a question earlier from I believe it was Allie. Let me get up to the top. Becky, sorry. Becky said, I can't watch and type at the same time, small cell screen. So putting my comment in early. Protrusions are so hard for monster turnaround sheets, wings, long noses, and so forth. Please help.
All right. Okay. So when it comes to non-humanoids, like particularly monsters and stuff, it's a real crapshoot. And I remember during V4, there was basically a discussion of how the knowledge of monsters is kind of incomplete. Like if you try to do a dragon in V3, it was nightmare fuel. At least in my experience, it was. So like it's hard for me to answer without like trying to pull from as many different different examples and seeing how we can like retro engineer something. You're welcome to come to my Discord and we can mess around with that. I remember Becky is actually a contributor there, so I really do appreciate you coming by. But she really likes to do like these like big chicken characters and things like that. And I really do think that probably the right route would be to do a costume or a mascot of some sort. There's there's all sorts of different workarounds that I've done that mostly involve costumes. When we did the Boozle Gas stream, that was almost entirely just a guy wearing a tiger mask costume. And that kind of is a workaround for the anthropomorphic stuff if like the anthropomorphic prompts are not working for you, and they kind of give a predictable result. So I like this though. Here, let me pop back over. Look at this. So we're gonna go with that.
Want to do it?
And I'll say oh my god, all these Barbies are amazing. The Daleks, Yoda Dalek. We first need to paste the picture. There we go.
I don't want to say how much I like Invader Zim, but I will say that I have a Gur tattoo somewhere on this.
Oh man, yeah, Gur
It's
is,
really bad, just like really badly done.
Oh yeah, but were you like a teen when you got it done? I was surprised that Pee Wee works. That's fun. Yes, Yes, birds at arms. I want more birds at arms. I'll be focusing on characters I think people recognize a bit just because it's funny, right? But birds at arms is a great subreddit. Okay, I'm gonna upres this one because it is quite literally Invader Zim if he was Pee Wee Herman. So there you go. That's pretty decent.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect for that. All right, let's get another suggestion here.
I just want you to know I did lose your sound for a moment. That's why I left and came back.
Oh yeah.
But it was me,
Okay.
not you.
Okay, I see. I see. Um. So Invader Nim. So the secret of Nim. I imagine. Yes. Okay. So let's do Nim here because we already have Invader Zim. So why not? This one is from Ancient Suggestion. So I am a huge fan of this movie. Absolutely huge fan. But to pick one of the characters from it, the old man, like the old, sorry, the old monster is probably like a decrepit rat is probably a good option here. But I want to see what other stuff might work on here. I never watched the VHS release of this, like the actual sequel or whatever, which is I'm sure is bad. I'm sure all the direct to VHS versions of this movie are quite bad. But
Equal?
yeah, it's there's a um there's I think there was a direct to VHS sequel. Yeah, this one here. It's very bad from what I understand. So I don't recommend it. It's about the boy who's sick growing up or whatever. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do the Crow because I he's when I was growing up, I absolutely loved this Crow. Like he was such a goofy guy for me. Let's go ahead and paste this. And if you got a suggestion for her on the bottom here, I can photo bash two of them together. But let me grab let's grab a different Invader Sim this time. Let's go with this one. The main issue with this is going to be the ears immediately get lost. So I'm just going to do this. There you go. This is if we just did it where it's just like this big head on top of this. It's kind of funny. But let's at least get the collar in there. There you go. And let's put Gur down here because that would be funny. All right. And I'm just gonna grab the head. Let's actually include the zipper too, because that might be funny. All right. And then flip that sucker around. It's good. It's good when it makes me laugh right off the bat. So there we go. So I'm going to now collapse this down. So if we get enough submissions from doing this, Reddit subreddits do so much better when there's a lot of content on them. Like that's kind of like a trick to making a subreddit popular that's really small is you just need to populate the content really good. Man, I'm very curious what you guys are doing up there, but all right. Let's go ahead and grab this, and then we'll do. Just these combinations of cats. It's so funny. Secret of Nim. I'm just gonna literally describe the two properties. Invader Zim. Invader Zim. Gur. How do you Gur's name? I just want to make
GIR.
sure. Yeah, it's just GIR. Okay, cool. I just needed to confirm. I should have just asked you, Kinky. You would have known. All right, as expected. by over describing the properties, right? We get like some really kind of crazy chimeras of everything, right? So instead, I'm just going to do an image weight that's really high on this. Oh god, the bird with arms is just like evolving into a Mortal Kombat character, and I love this. Okay. Let's go with instead. Let's do the secret, or yeah, the secret of Invader Zim. I'm just going to the secret of Zim and Gur. Let's just do that and see what we get with a high image weight. Image weight of 2. We got 2 characters, which is great. Look at this. By increasing the image weight to 2, I like the third one a lot. This one down here. Just because we have clearly a bird Zim-like character, or Gur-like character with the robot. And oh man, that's like nightmare fuel, but I love it. All right. Okay. Nice. How is the setting like weird or 5 or weird 1000 or chaos 50? I'm sure that the results are going to be kind of like another form of chaos, right? But I'm going to be focusing a lot on image weights today just because it's a little easier to get a result that we can kind of laugh at. Garbamel, Mavis, Dracula. So yeah, I'm going to leave that one for Mavis to do. Yeah, please. Waxen said this event is making my creative heart race. Yes, please get heart palpitations from just how excited you are from doing this.
Just for clarity, I meant Mavis from Hotel Dracula, not Maybus.
Oh, okay. I hadn't actually seen
Hotel Transylvania. Oh no, it's fine. I just wanted to.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna do one just because I got inspired by something you guys wrote here, but it's not gonna be exactly what you guys suggested. Okay, so I'm gonna do Ed, and Eddie, right? But I'm gonna take Ed, and you guys will see what I'll do with Ed here. Post them into Photoshop here, and oops, I'll save that out. I really don't want to deal with a bunch of marquee like dark spots and stuff on this one, so let's just do that. And then in my combination suggestion to this was because Kinky posted Edward Scissorhands and Ed and Freddy. I'm gonna do Freddie Mercury instead. So let's see. I'm gonna do a large image of him. A lot of these obviously are gonna be him with a mic, right? Because he's almost always singing in every public appearance. But I'm gonna grab this picture. And
I reposted Smokable, suggesting that.
Oh, nice. Smokable was the one suggested. Got it. Thank you. So this is a my spin on Smokable suggestion here. Just kind of grabbing a little bit of the face here using the object selection or quick selection tool, and then just negative out anything that I, there we go. Let's just go with that. Inverse. Oops. Yes. This is a fun event, y'all. I'm having fun with this.
That's amazing.
I'm really glad that I made the subreddit ahead of time too. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and export this monstrosity. Now imagine someone who's not expecting anything that we're doing here today just hops into VC Create and sees all the reference images that people have been making and thinking that Midjourney is pumping those out for them or something. Like I'm laughing at the idea of someone looking at this and going, wait a minute, why is Freddie Mercury here and why is he on Ed's body? Like it's just too funny to me. All right, so let's now we'll do Ed and Freddie. it's probably gonna be even more nightmarish that way. But
Freddie Mercury, Fred Rogers, and Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, right. It'll
Fred
just
and
do
Freddy.
all the Freds. Yes. Okay, look at the results we got here. Okay. Yeah, look, it's picking 3 characters, right? And just kind of like I like the second one actually, just because that's clearly Freddie Mercury's like face, but given like a weird like Pixar-esque cartoon aspect to it. But let's do a high image weight of that and then see what we get. But this time I'm gonna do Ed, Edd and Eddy, and then hyphen to separate them out, and then have a high image weight. I think this should give us something interesting. Mavis already throwing himself in there to be in the fantasy story of his dreams. It's I don't think people realize how much of a superpower this is yet in terms of being able to cast yourself and stuff, especially when we start to get into AI video and stuff. But here is the high image weight with Ed. That's perfect, actually. Okay. So what I did here to do this to try to not only is it a high image weight, but I have separated the two out with with 2 colons here. And what that essentially is doing is it's making 2 separate prompts and then shoving them together. If I didn't do the hyphen the colon between the two, it would do what it did before, which is try to make 3 characters, and have the image reference on it. So I the fact that I was able to predict that this would be the result is entirely because of experience of working with Midjourney. All right. So we can see this. Look at this. That literally is the photo bash here. Just perfect. So awesome. Yeah. Space Jam 2 is going to be a really great movie, y'all. We're going to have a lot of fun. All right. So at this point, let's go back up to text chat, and I'm gonna take a sip here of a drink or so while I look at your all suggestions here. Kinky gave me a good list of them too, but please post in VC text. I really want to see your all suggestions, especially if you end up photo bashing something yourself. Post that in VC Create.
I was gonna do Lobo combined with Courage the Cowardly Dog, but I can't find my pan for my Photoshop.
I've been making
My
Jon Snow
Huion.
White.
Jon Snow White.
It
I
actually
love
works
you.
really well.
Yes.
I bet.
Yes, please. The idea of just the Looney Tune characters going into Game of Thrones, for example, is what should have happened with Space Jam. You know what I mean? So let me tell you my pitch for Space Jam 2. Okay. My idea is that a character, hint hint, me, Victor, brings anime to the Space Jam universe and all the implications of that. So it has to be everything from anime fan service stuff to tropes to all that. Everything gets covered, and essentially the whoever is the main cast of the show or the movie needs to stop Victor from ruining Space Jam forever or something like that by making an anime. So I called it Space Jam 2: The Reanime. That's my pitch to you guys. Is essentially like it'll be a more adult version of Space Jam, obviously, but I think it would be really funny. It means that we can go not just to anime, but we can go to live action stuff. We can go wherever, and Game of Thrones is a great idea for that.
Yes.
Okay, great. I love that. Sorry if my laugh gets a bit obnoxious at times, guys. I can't control it when it comes to something that's just so freaking silly looking.
You have a great laugh.
All
All the girls think so. I don't know what I'm talking about. But you do have a great laugh.
Thank you. Thank you. I mostly let's see. We got Deprompts Darvis says V3 dragons, 2 tails, 3 legs, no heads. Lol, I remember. Yeah, right. Yeah. I was doing a lot of people writing on dragons at one point when I was a V3, and it was so much easier just to photo bash some dragons. So let's see here, and my wife probably heard me complaining about not eating something, so she gave me a granola bar. That's great. Okay, all right. Let's we're gonna need some more suggestions from you guys inside of VC text. Just a heads up. I need a couple of y'all to be posting there. But for now, let's dig through some of the creations from people, and while you guys give suggestions inside of VC text. So I'm not surprised that Mavis threw the chicken in there, like threw himself into the chicken. That's great. Let's see here. All right, we got some Edward Scissorhands ones here. Look at that. That's pretty great. What does that combine with? Betty Boop, nice, and Ursula. Ursula, Betty Boop, and Nightmare for Christmas. That's a pretty solid combination, honestly. I like that. That could be a really fun. So like, it's either like bringing anime to the Space Jam universe, or it's there is like a button that gets hit that Freaky Fridays everybody and makes everyone merge together. I think the merging one might be more of a gag as opposed to a premise, right? But it is quite funny to me. Yes, the where this one came from, the Jon Snow Snow White is really great. I love the overtly masculine dress here. It's great. We got a couple Barbie Yodas here. Look at that. It's much more leaning on Barbie than Yoda. And if I take a look at the image reference that was posted here, ours here, you can see that one of the reasons that this works is because I put that fade in between the two pictures. It really helps to kind of tell Midjourney, oh, okay, this isn't just put this guy's head on this. It's we want you to be creative and figure this out. So if you do take a little bit of time on the images, you'll oftentimes, oh my god, look at that. Just put like a wolf on the bottom in paint, and you have a gender bent version of Game of Thrones. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. This is just Jon Snow with a Disneyfication on it. That's great. I'm I don't mean any disregard to you, Mavis, or anything like that. I'm only skipping yours because I know that you're in painting a lot. So look at that. So cute. More Betty Boops. So this was the original image, and there you go. That is so funny from AC. I love that.
He winds up coming out like absolutely gorgeous because he's
because he knows what he's
even
doing.
when he's making that face. I know.
Yeah, I like the class, like the Invader Zim reference was the clearly look at they just gave him the eyes. That's great. That is so funny. Let's see, Captain Balu and Mean Cat. So there's this image here. This is from Tailspin, I believe. I don't actually remember this cartoon show that well. I remember Rescue Rangers so much closer than this. But there was a time period where there was just everyone doing little adventure stuff like this.
Blue was originally from the Jungle Book, and then he was in Tailspin.
That's right. Yeah, it's like they just literally grabbed it from the vault and were like, all right, we're just gonna use this character. Let's check out. So this is Invader Zim mashed with the chicken guy with arms, right? And you can see that there's a point where it breaks, right? and that's largely to do with the negative space around the arm. If that negative space wasn't there, in fact, you know what? We're gonna go back to Reddit real quick, and we're gonna do arms. So birds with arms is a very popular birds with arm. Yeah, there you go. Birds with arms is a subreddit, and the just taking some of these results will be great. So like this for example, and let's post this picture here because this is a very clean Photoshop. This is much more advanced than I'm expecting from our stuff today. But I will show you all American. Let's just write all American and see what it gives us.
That's perfect.
That is great. That
Need
is
to thank that guy for his service.
right, right. You know that he's he's defending he's defending the American border, but like from nobody, right? It's just in his mind, right? So he's just going hard on that. That's great. And I see Agent Blue is back. Um, so I know like Agent Blue is fun from one of my previous streams. I'm glad to see characters pop back up from previous streams. It's pretty cool. Um, ah, I hate getting spam calls. It makes me irrationally angry when I get a call that I clearly don't care about. I clearly don't want it. I'm never gonna pick it up. But it encourages me to just put my phone like on permanent mute. I can't do that for my job, like in terms of like doing the creative consulting and stuff. But like, man, it's just not. But if we look here, I think Babe has kind of jumped yeah, he's putting some chaos codes in there and really messing around with it, which I really appreciate him doing. Because like if you look at this, he's put a very high emphasis on what is it, on the first image here, which I believe is the bird with arms. Yeah, this one here. And then the other images are probably of Agent Blue. Yeah. So you know, just experimenting, y'all, will help so much when it comes to figuring out kind of like how this stuff is being interpreted. I mean, it lets me be able to tell my comics, like my stories with Victor and stuff, because I have an expectation of what comes back to me. So if I draw Victor in Photoshop, then I have an idea of what the results are going to be like because I've done, you know, I have an idea of kind of the rainfall effect that happens with image prompting particularly, where depending on the weight of the image, it will dominate the result. So you can take advantage of that, and it's probably the most utility that an artist has. You know, but okay, hold on a second. Muppet President Grover Cleveland. Look at that. Look at it.
Uh,
Like I'm just gonna zoom in on that face really quick. That's great. That's some Squidward face right there. You know what I mean? Like that's fantastic.
Like, who did that?
Yeah, right. This one is Waxin who posted this. Now I will say this. I love the fact that you're like supercharged on the creative side to do this. Please just go hard. And eventually I'll be getting into making these into player cards. So here's my idea about how to kind of because then I'll get into, you know, making more of these chimeras. My idea is to essentially be able to very easily pull these image references up for other people online. I really want to make player cards where you can essentially instantly use those to get all the image codes, as well as any sort of like predefined um, prompts and suggestions inside of the images. So next week I'll be demoing a little bit of that, where I'll be showing off something that my buddy Cybergem made. And essentially, what it's going to do is let us be able to share characters like we're sharing trading cards, as opposed to just giving a bunch of links or a text document. So that'll be fun. We'll be getting into that. Oh my god, my wife just gave me a freaking smoothie. I am so happy. I am so happy.
Best wife ever.
What? Oh, and it's got 2 shots of espresso in it. I am so happy. Mm.
I want to
Banana
know what
chocolate.
mine is.
Banana chocolate smoothie. All right, sorry about that. So, um, we have a bunch of combinations that are coming in, and I love that. But I mostly want to emphasize here that um the kind of stuff that we'll be able to do with player cards is actually kind of crazy because we can make these monsters and then be like, okay, these are recurring characters in our story, right? And then give it to somebody else to make other recurring characters, or just to continue the story. So I made one for Nikokeen, and I also made one for Victor. Um, I'll post that into uh next week, because I still need to actually bake the gems in there. I don't want to release the cards until I actually have everything functional. So yeah. What is this? Betty Boop Joker is so damn cute. Okay. All right. So women in suits is like the hottest damn thing for me, honestly. So like there's a reason why my Sage comics have a girl with a tie on for a lot of it. It's just that's I'm all about that look. But I'm gonna take some of your suggestions here. Uh, there's a Tigger crossed with Snow White. That could be fun. Actually, let's just do that one real quick. That one is a suggestion from Becky. It's good to see you, Becky. Let's see here. Oh, I wrote Becky. I wrote Becky in the search instead of. All right. Let's see here. We got Tigger, and then we got Snow White. I know that AC was already going hard on Snow White earlier, but I I think it might be kind of funny to grab a really iconic scene, like her singing to the flower, or, to the bird, right? Or we can try to do another mash of 2 characters with this image here. So this one might be fun. If you have a suggestion of who should be giving the apple to Snow White here, then I'll do this one too. Let's do that one iconic picture. And then I'm going to actually so this is something that I want to mention here. What I learned why this is so much easier outside of just the new tools that we have, because we can outpaint parts of classic movies, classic things that people recognize. That means that we can basically extend the movie to a modern format or a more modern look, or otherwise incorporate characters that have like heads that are way too big for the scenes that they're in, because otherwise we would get cropped images and all sorts of weird negative space around the heads. So the only thing I'm doing here, look at that, isn't that amazing? We could just quickly outpaint the rest of the scene so that now I can grab Tigger here, who like it's not exactly what would be a better example of this, but who's the Meep Meep guy from Muppets? Yeah, this guy. Um, so I'm gonna take him because I'm trying to show off the
Beaker.
fact. Beaker, thank you so much. Um, like, yes, let's just grab this enormous picture of Beaker here. And paste that into here, and then we'll do object selection and try to just grab the head. Becky said Maleficent could give the apple. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Take out some of that black that's there. Boom. And because we're just doing photo bashing, so it's not a big deal. But you can see what I'm saying here. Because I was able to do the outpaint, I suddenly have all this room to work with. But I want to make sure the heads kind of line up a little bit. So let's go with something like that. Okay. And now we need to get rid of like hair and chin and all that kind of stuff too, to kind of compensate for that. So what I do is I'll mute the head. I'll come into here and I'll just grab as close to the neckline as I can, but I want to preserve the back of that collar here. And if you're tight enough with your in paint, you can actually basically delete heads. And this is true in Midjourney too. It's actually way easier in Midjourney. You've probably done it by accident and got frustrated. Where you just a character returns headless.
It might actually be perfect if you Bunsonified the evil Queen Witch as Bunsen
Right.
and Beaker.
Look
and
at this.
Bunsen's already green.
Look at it kind of looks like Markiplier for some reason. Like
It does look like Markiplier.
Why does it look like Markiplier?
I don't know.
I don't know, but it does. Okay. Let's go ahead and put this back on top here. Look at that. It's better already. So much better already.
Definitely cover it up, please.
Yes, please. You know that Markiplier actually he's a pretty good singer. I had no idea. He
Talented guy.
Yeah. Now granted, he's got a good amount of money and can really clean up what he does, but I mostly wanted to I do have a song from him actually that I could play. It's pretty good. It's called The Last Goodbye. And I'm sure that it's from some series that he made at some point or something or another. But I like it because it's basically like the world's ending and it's a multi-dimensional jump story, and it's essentially he just wants to hang out with himself as the world dies, as the world ends, so the universe ends. I just want to see if I can clean that up a little bit. That's fine. We'll probably get a weird stray hair or something there, but what I'm gonna do for this example though is we're actually gonna rely on Photoshop generative infill to see if it actually can interpret this image at all. Let's see what it does. I'm just imagining that the bird is going meep meep meep, and then he's going meep meep meep, like I'm laughing at the idea of them just screaming at each other but going meep meep. But we can actually kind of see what it did here, and it basically cleaned up the line between the two. You see, like it took away the chin, the neck, but it made the chin more rounded, as if it's in the perspective of the image here. So I'm gonna go with this one. It's just too freaking funny to me. I really want somebody, like, by the time I have all these uploaded to the subreddit and stuff, I really want it to be that like someone just accidentally ends up on that sub and they're just like, what the hell's going on here?
What do you mean?
Why is this happening? What is the premise of this? Yeah, I really need to emphasize on that sub description that we're making Monstars here. But yeah, let's take this image, this abomination, and I'm just gonna go meep meep, and we'll just see what that does. I'm going to also make it just Muppet Snow White, and then high image weight. Just because if we're gonna try to photo bash these, we'll see what results we get with just high image weights. And then also, like, what I do a lot with my stuff is I tend to describe what's in the image to kind of help us get there. By the way, whatever this kind of cat chimera is, it's getting extremely close to the Cats musical, and it's really uncomfortable to me. Let's go ahead and do Singing with a Bird on hand, and we'll just let that ride there. And let's see, the Caspian Devil. So let's see what combinations these are here. Casper, and Tasmanian Devil. Nice. That resulted with this here. That's actually a really cool villain. I really like that villain. That's pretty cool. It doesn't remind me of Casper, but it definitely has a sort of continuity to it, where you could probably get a really interesting character continuity just with using a repeatable result like that. The main negative, and I'll get into these here in a minute, but the main negative about doing this is actually how predictable the results are if you want to make these into fully fleshed out characters. This is why the character sheets are so important. So I'm just gonna quickly derail just so that I can emphasize why the character sheets are important. But inside of Sage's I got a PM from somebody who's just like, you thought this was gonna be a lewd DM, but nope, it's me, Dio. And I had to respond to him with like, oh, it's Dio. So like the thing is that the character sheets are really important to be able to get variety out of the results that you get. So for Sage here, her character sheet looks like this, and I know that I talk about, if you guys are regulars here, you've probably seen this image a million times, and I apologize, but the thing about these character sheets is that it gives you the diversity that you need, but also lets you restrict the sheer randomness that Midjourney is going to give you. The fact that I'm using what is called a cowboy shot for the turnarounds, right, where it's from the knees up, right, that means that I never get shots of Sage that are really far away, which is pretty important when you're doing a comic, because comics are all kind of like in your face or otherwise like a scene. Like for me anyway, it lets me establish a certain expectation for the audience that they're going to see Sage in a certain way. So if I wanted to make that more dynamic and change her around a lot, I now only have to rely on my prompts themselves. Um, and when I'm doing panning, it's far less reliable. So, like for example, I was gonna make a reply where Michael is eating soup, because there's a GIF reply to a comic I made with soup. And as I pan over and I try to make Sage come back, the problem is I can't do my injection method. So every time I pan over, it's a different lady that kind of looks like Sage. It could be like Sage's sister, or maybe a different genre of production. This was the closest I got to, and she's got a hair bun. You know what I mean? I would have to do a lot of corrections on this. But if I now double back to where I am directly injecting into Sage, see, I start off with an image like this, right? And then say, all right, variation strong, include all of Sage's reference images, which is this sheet, where every image in the sheet is a separate URL. And then I just describe the image, giggling with her hands in her mouth, like at her mouth, and then her blonde, Niji 5 style cute. You notice I had none of those codes in the original prompt. That's because I am switching to Niji as I hit the variation strong button. By doing that, we essentially do the make anime real workflow that I have, where it's heavily interpreting based off of the live action footage or live action prompt, and then making an anime version of that, which means I can direct the characters like I'm directing a film. Honestly, this is such a strong superpower. It's amazing. But so that's what we're doing here basically. When it comes to doing these character injections, is that if we have a fully fleshed out character sheet, you could have a continuous character that's super dynamic, that moves around like Sage's does, where she could just be in multiple poses, multiple actions, all that sort of stuff, because I'm using it as I'm using an AI actor essentially to direct. To manipulate her. But now we'll hop back over to Midjourney here, and we'll see what you guys have been doing. And the suggestion of singing with a bird in her hand, just describing the scene. Look at this. Look. It's so accurate to what the original image is. I'll pump this up more. Look at this. Look at how I like the third one the most. The third one's someone already upvoted it or upres it. Thank you so much. I just the sheer volume I'm imagining that room is in. So like we could take this image here, and we can try to reverse it, right? Yes, anyone who makes Dio, by the way, please make as many Dios as you can, because I want to see all the Dios. We did get a bit of a disgruntled phase, but this is an example of where I am most likely going to Photoshop this solution, right? And I gotta open the door because the cat can't stop screaming at me. Okay, all right. So
I've been getting a visual of that seagull singing like a cat, meowing because of the cat.
Yeah, I'm so
and
sorry.
And it totally works in my head. No, I really love it.
All right. So the idea of just Muppet cat meows. All right. Okay. Let's see what some of your other results are here. We got this one. This one is Snow White singing with Beaker Muppet. Nice. We have Ronnie James Dio Brando. I like that. I like that. I want to see Dio as like a WWE wrestler. You know what I mean? Like it would be great to see him bring the slam down. Um, this Justin Bieber with Dio. I can tell that's Dio, isn't it? Let's see. Yeah, it's your combination of Dio. Perfect. We got Cowboy Thanos Yoda. All right, there's a couple of these. Look at I love how it works with plastics, toys, that kind of stuff. It's wicked for that. And the more nonsensical ones, I'm gonna be a little more skippy on, just because like we can make so much more amazing stuff when it comes to this. But look at that! Look at the this is Snow White Beaker as well. This is from Waxin, and it's just really neat to see the kind of variety of results we get. And he's using image codes, or sorry, not image codes. He's putting weights on Snow White and Beaker to try to evoke a certain a certain look. I'll certainly call that a look. But we're gonna hop back over now to the VC text, and we're gonna see what your all suggestions look like. Oh man, I feel like David. I have a smoothie. Nice. Okay. Let's see here. I get it though. Like if you're talking so much, a smoothie helps so much. That is a clutch move. So because I also streamed yesterday, by the way. I streamed on my Twitch. So if you go to victorgnarly.com, you can click the top right corner to find my socials. There's Twitch and other things there, as well as YouTube. All my streams get uploaded to YouTube, so if you want to check that out, it's there. Let's do Kermit the Frodo. Actually, I'll get to ancient suggestions here in a minute. I'll definitely get into that. But let's do one from somebody who hasn't given them cat dog version of the Joker and Riddler. Okay, all right. But by the way, I will more likely see your recommendations if you like them or you put an emoticon on it. It's just it gives me something to look at. So let's do cat dog really quick. I love cat dog.
I was saying thanks for coming by to Waxin.
Oh yes, thank you so much. All right, let's go ahead and get rid of this. Get rid of this. There's so much good content for the subreddit already. I'm happy about that. So let's get cat dog here, and then your suggestion was for Joker and Riddler. Okay, so let's do the Joker. I want to see when I do the Riddler if it's live action or more like I only think of Jim Carrey's Riddler, honestly. It for some reason it's that's the Riddler I know. I'm sorry if this is not the Riddler you're expecting, but I'm gonna go with this one because it makes me laugh and he looks like he's in Power Man 5000. So we'll go ahead and grab one of these. This is another Tim Burton movie, you know. Let's grab. He just loves this role, man. Like you could tell that he's just all about it. It's a terrible outfit, but it's such a funny look. I want to go with one that's very clearly him. So, oh god. Let's just do this one. It's a nice high res image of him. A Jordler. Okay, we have his head here. Boop. And I want to extend the canvas up because we already know their heads are going to be way too big and off model from the characters. And I think it's kind of funnier to give him the whiskers. Now we'll do Joker. We'll do the modern, like the Joaquin Phoenix Joker because that's just funny to me. Actually, it is kind of funny how much he looks like the Jared Leto Joker. I never actually saw the Jared Leto Joker in the movies because I don't watch DC films normally. I'm gonna go with let's go with this one. and merge that sucker with him. This was such a good movie. I really did like the Joker films with Joaquin Phoenix. It's so much. It's what I really wanted a proper like villain origin story to be like. But I'm very curious to see if they. I haven't actually kept up with the films, so okay. All right. Um, let's just kind of fix this here a little bit. Yeah, there you go. That's perfect. We'll come back over here and put him over here. Yeah, I just want to get it to where like the heads mostly match, and then get rid of any white kind of. The thing is, his head's too small now. Let's make that a little bigger, just to kind of match on head sizes. Okay, because I don't want it to be like one head is in the distance to the other. So now I'm just going to bring that up here and then select any part of this that we don't really necessarily want. Let's just do that. And then white that out. There we go. Now I want to make sure that I keep as much of this chin kind of obvious from the cartoon. So let's just do this. Okay, I'm laughing at that. So let's go with that. And we'll just kind of crop the heads there. There we go. This is gonna be such a weird result, but I'm excited to see what comes up with this. Go to VC Create.
I think that's glorious.
Right. So now I'm going to hit /imagine, paste the image, and then do cat dog, and then hyphen Joker, and then Riddler. Let's just see what it does if I combine all three and then add an image weight of 2. Did someone prompt me as a rat punk minion? Thank you.
Yes, I did.
Yes. Yes. Oh, these look so good. I gotta blow this up real quick. Oh, look at this. That is 100%. If you made Victor into a minion, that's what he would wear the overalls and everything. Like, it's great. That's too funny. Yeah, this is an example of a Space Jam for 100%. This is a Space Jam 2 moment, where it's like, just merging into all sorts of existing properties is too funny for me. It is also funny with the idea that the minion takes off his face and it looks like Victor's like without like the hoodie, like the way that the second image is really funny to me, because you could imagine that you pull open the mouth and it's like and it's like it becomes a hoodie, right? Like I could see that really creepy visual. Actually, it works. But let's go ahead and see our results here. And I gotta actually get rid again of a bunch of windows. The main negative of doing this with y'all is that Chrome just immediately hates me. With how much we're doing this. So the fact that you're taking a snippet of me is really funny too, Mavis. All right, so here we go. Here's our cat dog results. They're sitting butt to butt, just like, yeah. This is too funny. I'm going to upres that first one because it makes me laugh. But you kind of get like the money signs on the cat's face for the third one. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I am a little surprised at the fact that it got some merging done on the fourth one, but without doing like a bunch of other stuff to emphasize it. But I might be able to get away with just what is it, a Niji prompt. So if I come back here, we'll do cat dog again. And then I'm going to set this to Niji 5, and then also an aspect ratio of 3:2, which is just going to give us a wider aspect ratio. Yeah. It's definitely going to do some funny stuff here in just a moment. All right, look at this. It completely lost the actual cat dog, right? But it replaced it with like these really crazy, like, I'm gonna be honest, shit-eating grin. Like it's just a very weird. This is what I mean by digging into the weird places of image prompts. we don't really know the results of this, but the fourth one is the coolest one in terms of the effect that is happening here. Because it is merging all the characters together at this point. But we have Luigi Lugia. Yes, this is great. There's a couple really fun ones that are here. Look at that. The fourth one is so funny to me. I'm gonna up-res that one. That's great. He's like about to do a move. But the you know, it's whenever we're seeing like Hulk. Okay, this is great. Hulk Hogan as Dio. That's amazing. Especially the first one. The first one looks awesome, and I know that you're doing like, let's see, you're doing in painting to try to bring it back, Mavis, but you did a really great job on this one. This one's really funny. Are you ready to rumble? You know, and just yeah, I could totally see a JoJo WWE. All right, perfect. Let's go to VC text and see what your all's newest suggestions are, and we'll just start making some more abominations. So one of my favorite things about this event is that I'm kind of breaking the rules of like trying to do something super consistent or otherwise like really try to get a project done. This is my day to break that rule. Question: did you click variation in Niji at the same time? Yes. Earlier, what I did was I swapped. This is a question from me plus full. What I did is I added the code Niji5 and maybe a style. I don't always add a style, but I add the code Niji5 when I hit the variation strong button. As long as you are going from live action to anime, doing that, you'll oftentimes end up with a result that is surprisingly good and very similar to the direction that you gave in the prompt. Now I'm giving images on top of doing that. So the combination of all three gives me my control and my direction when it comes to the newest version or version 5 of this of Midjourney. But let's do Kermit the Frodo really quick. I think that's fun. So let's do Kermit. I know we're getting a lot of Muppets, but it's because Muppets look so damn good in Midjourney that it's I remember one of the very first times I used a Muppet prompt was the Muppets invade Normandy on D-Day, and I was shocked at how good those results looked. But let's go ahead and grab Kermit here, and probably do the crunched face Kermit actually. But let's do Frodo. The trick really is, guys, at least for me, is to make the initial image funny because it drives people to want to make these, right? So like you know, it's one thing if we just grab a picture of Frodo and just put that on there. But if we have like an iconic scene or maybe like you know, like a moment from the movie, people will recognize that moment. So like here, this is, you know, it's essentially the dropping of the ring into the fire, right? So like if I take this image now and we run this, what's going to happen is that people might recognize that scene through the AI imagery. And this is what I call like a media literacy, where you can't really tell anymore whether or not something is truly generated on some results, right? So instead, we can kind of train people to look for this stuff by having recognizable things in the imagery. And this is why my series on my website victorgnarly.com, my web series, focuses so much on memes because it teaches people to look for AI imagery, and frankly it's an anti-propaganda campaign on my part. I'm trying to teach people how not to be fooled by AI imagery because I'm showing you what recognizable memes you've seen before, most likely have seen before anyway, and seeing through the AI imagery for that. They gave him a finger. But let's go with this one here. And now we'll grab Kermit. And like I want to do a really recognize it like this. This is not Kermit, but it does make me laugh, so that's fun. Let's do I gotta get the crunchy face Kermit. sad. Just Kermit sad. No, I don't. That's not the kind of sad I want. Let's do Kermit Crunchy. No, if I do, I have no idea what I'm gonna get for that. But let's do Kermit here, and then I'll find the image of him kind of scrunched face. I saw it earlier, so let's see. If I scroll too low, I'm getting into really dangerous territory to be streaming live. Let's see here. Where is that? There, this is the picture I'm looking for. Is there any other yes, this is what I want. It's just this. It's so low res though. So low res. So I'll do a shout out for a YouTuber that I follow here. His name is Ambiguous Amphibian, and he does like just gaming streams. But the reason I am bringing him up really quick is because he uses this picture of Kermit on his profile. So we're gonna use that. This is not his picture. He has an edited version of this picture. But at the very least, we are going to get a funny result out of this one. So that's what I'm aiming for anyway.
Great
Let's
picture.
get rid of this. Yeah, right. It's a great picture. Let's go ahead and highlight, select all of this, delete. And just a reminder, guys, if you go to, I'll link it one more time here. On Reddit, I have made a new subreddit dedicated to doing this kind of shit posting, called Space Jam 2. And I'll link it. Oh yeah, you got it. Thank you so much, Kinky. It's in the text chat if you want to check it out. We'll be submitting all sorts of silly stuff here. And I will eventually find moderators, assuming that it picks up and we get some interest in it. Regular contributors anyway. Yeah, if you want to be the first, if you want to start casting Space Jam 2, subscribe to that subreddit and start submitting your weird chimeras. So that if you had a lot of fun doing this kind of Freaky Friday stuff, that's where I'm gonna go to do it on a regular basis. So that's fun. But we'll go ahead and make this head a little bigger here. Bring this down like that. And I'll do an outpaint to compensate for the lowering of the head here. We could actually keep the hair as well. Let's actually outpaint a little bit. Isn't it amazing? Like, this scene doesn't exist like this. We should not be seeing the top of Frodo's head here, but we do because of outpainting.
Pretty rad. I mean, we're looking forward to a lot. We're not even halfway there yet, you know.
Halfway there.
Isn't it crazy to think about them?
It is kind of crazy to think that we're entering a new era of entertainment. And frankly, I saw a bunch of people on Reddit try to argue with me on this one. You know, we're quickly entering a new era of entertainment and media that is frankly a new medium of itself. The way I described it to people was that it's a new medium under the illusion of every other medium. And what that means is that we're able to do stuff that you can't normally do in entertainment, but also like from like a legal standpoint or whatever. Like, I'm not a lawyer. I'm gonna put that asterisk out there. But the thing is that we're doing transformative content by simply using AI imagery. Everything that we get out of this stuff is not the original image that was put in. You can violate a trademark with AI imagery. That's pretty easy to do. It's just, prompt Mickey and boom, you probably are violating a trademark. If you use that for a commercial purpose. The thing is that people got really upset with me about me calling it a medium because it gives it legitimacy that they don't feel like it deserves. This is a temporary misconception about AI imagery in general. And it over time we'll see more and more specialized tools that are focused on this stuff, and that's when people will get it more, at least more hands-on, in a more hands-on way. All right, so I just did an expansion of 3 pixels to get rid of the white border. And now I'm going to do a little, I love how the hair is popping up on this one. So I'm going to do a little bit of, let's just merge these 3 here. I'm going to do a little bit of generative fill on the face so that we can try to get a little more hair and no ear. Oops.
So Becky's asking, if we were to post all 3 online, I guess 3 characters, would we be sued by Disney, Marvel, etc.? I don't think you get sued just for posting them.
Just for posting them, no. The reason why that is because like you're not a very big creator to the point where you're kind of taking advantage of that. Like, for example, people on Instagram, including myself, will use music as background music. But that's because we're not big. You know what I mean? Like, we're not a target for any of these companies. But if I was, say, a very popular artist with, you know, millions of followers and stuff like that, the moment you violate that copyright on that music, they know that you have money because of the it's monetized or whatever. If there's a way to believe or know that you are making money, as in it's an advertisement or it's otherwise done commercially, you're far more likely to get a cease and desist or something else like that. You really do have to actually be making money for them to notice it, unless you are committing a slander of some sort. If you are, otherwise they can prove that you're hurting their sales in some way by, you know, being whatever. As long as you're doing it as a critique, you're fine, because that's your right. At least if in the United States. I recognize that this might be an international audience, so this may not apply to you, but in America, it's kind of the Wild West when it comes to this stuff right now. So there's just not a lot of recourses for transformative content because it's considered free speech. So I just did a quick gen fill on the end of the head here, and I'm really liking how this came out. So let's go ahead and run this one here. And I'm just going to bring that in a little bit and do this. This might be a pretty fun result. This one I took a little more time on the photo bash, right? So we'll probably get some pretty clean results out of that. But what I'm expecting to happen in terms of where this stuff kind of goes is going to largely be kind of like Disney daycare sort of lawsuits. I don't know if you're familiar with the Disney daycare lawsuit, but basically, I believe this was in Southern Florida. The owner of a daycare hired an artist to paint on the walls of a daycare a bunch of Disney characters, as well as other characters from other properties. I believe there is just a big selection of friendly characters, so that if you're at the doctor's or if you're at the daycare, you feel a little more at home because you recognize the people on the wall. Disney didn't like that, and they sued them for it. They sued the daycare for painting, keep in mind, original painted versions of the trademark characters. And I think I have to look up what the result of that is, but the sheer fact that they did it all, you know, is going to bankrupt people. As soon as you get a proper like lawsuit from someone as big as Disney, like to hire a lawyer to defend against that will bankrupt so many people. So like I'm super worried about the direction of that if we get to that point where they feel so threatened by AI imagery that they start to sue people. That'll be kind of an interesting point for us, I think. Not sure if we ever get there. I'm just speculating. But let's do Kermit Frodo on this one. And I'm going to set the image weight real high too, just so we can try to force it to be. And then we can describe the scene as well. Dropping the ring. Frodo, Lord of the Rings. Hold on. I gotta upres this one. There you go. Um,
Oh Lord.
it's like Shrek. It's like if Shrek and Kermit were merged together and they remade Lord of the Rings. And you see here that
Look
when
at my little brother.
I'm just imagining those arms being like, like kind of like plastic proppy sort of arms or whatever, just being like just swatting around on the screen. It would be pretty funny. But here's what happens when I describe the scene more. And you can notice that we're immediately losing it, right? There's like this weird, like he's holding a weird frog thing. There's like a chain. It's because my description at this point no longer really describes the picture. Yes, there's a ring in his hand, but he's not dropping it in the picture, right? Um, and frankly, it's just very humanoid. So like I get much better results just by throwing something like this or like this at the machine and see what it does. You know what I mean? Like it's too funny to me. And try to keep the prompts as simple or short as possible. Like you don't have to do that. Write big ass prompts if you want, but the main thing is that by slowly reducing your results or otherwise minimizing your prompts, you get to start to see patterns and ways. Like if you hit reroll on the same word again and again and again and again and again, you start to notice some sort of patterns. Um, I take a lot of advantage of patterns related to Victor's hair. Whenever I say black hair, I have a good expectation that the hair is going to be kind of flowing and up high. If I need him to be like a bit like tired or frustrated or unkept or whatever, I'll just say messy black hair. And that suddenly turns the anime sort of spiky hair into more frumpy or flat. And it just has to do with the wiggliness and the weight of the hair. At least in my opinion. So everything that I say comes with the asterisk that it's coming from my own experiences and not like Midjourney training me or anything like that. It was so funny. I had an artist come up to me and they were like, "Okay, so what did Midjourney tell you to say to people?" And I'm like, "They literally told me nothing. They were like, hey, just talk, just like get up on there and start chatting." So I really appreciate having AC and Kinky here to kind of set me straight on things whenever it kind of comes up. Especially AC whenever like finding out that image weights are in Niji is a huge thing for me now. So that's great. Ever since version 5 anyway. So we have some results from you guys. This is Pinhead from Hellraiser with the Nutcracker. So that's pretty cool. Um,
Cracker.
you got Homer Simpson as a
Nut
shrimp
razor.
dude. Um, let's see what else. Lots of Homer Simpson shrimps. Yeah. Let me actually swap back over here. Is that who I think it is? So the thing is, yeah, this Hulk Hogan again. Okay, good. So we got Hulk, and then we got Pickle Rick. Okay, perfect. So the thing is about this result, and this is what's so different about what we're doing right now versus what you're probably familiar with Midjourney, which is blending. You notice how you're kind of getting both images here. You're getting a median between the two images, especially the second one. It's basically just Rick screaming with Hulk Hogan's hair, right? But now, if I take these two images, just that intense stare, and we instead put Hulk Hogan's head on Pickle Rick, the result will be far more controllable because we're using image weights. We're not doing blending in the same way that is being done with just two different URLs. This is we're deciding, we're having a lot more control of the results this way. So I can now post Pickle Rick here. I'll get rid of his background, and then we'll come into here and just start having our fun with this one. So I'm first going to do object selection. We can see if we can get away with just keeping as much of that neck as possible. Oh yeah, that was great. All right. So we got this here. Make this a smart object. So one of the benefits of doing a smart object is that you don't need to worry about rescaling. So if you scale down, you're like, it's too low, and then you scale back up, the image doesn't lower in resolution. Very, very useful if you want to make real clean work. So now let's just do something like this. Kind of crop the head a little bit to the side to match the kind of subtle bend that is on the pickle. Just doing that subtle fade is enough. But we need to make this we need to make the lighter color sort of show up here. Yeah, something like that. Just so that we get a little less hard line. Okay. And then with the brush tool, I'll do something similar. We drop the hardness, increase the size, and then drop the opacity down, making it so that every time I brush, it actually is kind of like a lower value of the green that I'm doing here, so that we can start to influence his chin to be a little bit like Pickle Rick's, where there's a little bit of green in it. That should be good. That should be good. You can see every time I brush, it kind of makes a bit of a stacked effect, and that's from the opacity and just a very loose hardness. And now lastly, I'm going to do a fill here, and go from there. All right, do that. Now I'm going to check on your all's voice chats here, VC text here. There we go. We got Pickle. We got Pickle Hulk here. That's where I live, but none of us can afford to live here anymore. 100%. I moved out of LA because I couldn't afford it anymore. I was so sick, like outside of just my job, like kind of falling apart in terms of stop motion. It was the fact that that it was just too damn expensive. I moved from Culver City, mind you, Culver City, which is crazy expensive. I moved from Culver City to Van Nuys, and Van Nuys is, I mean, I'll be frank, it's a shithole. You know what I mean? It's in the valley at least, so at least there's a little bit of green around you. But Van Nuys is like is like a very, very cheap nearby Burbank town, in equivalent. And I hate to say town because that's just so inaccurate to how Los Angeles works. But yeah. All right, there we go. We got which one? There's even more Manchesters than Vancouvers. Okay, so let me flatten this now. This will be a great post. So I'm going to show you guys what I expect you all to do on the subreddit if you do participate on the sub. What I want you to do is essentially save out whatever your kind of like requests are. Now, because you guys are all Midjourney users, you guys can help me out a ton here, which is I want to give a place for people who may not have AI image, you know, like may not be a Midjourney user or otherwise use AI imagery. I want them to have a place to make these and feel like that there's a community of people ready to kind of manipulate the images for them, as in they're going to get multiple versions of the thing. So you're welcome to do, and I'll give you a special flair or something if you generate an image there. Like I'll give you a title basically, like Lord of the Cartoons or something like that. But the way that this works is we will come up to Reddit here, and we're gonna hit create a post, and then go to images and videos, and now we're gonna grab our pickle here, and we're gonna name it appropriately, the thing. So let's go to desktop here and find him. There we go. I'm just gonna drag him onto there, and then I'm gonna name him as Pickle Hogan. Just Pickle Hogan. I'm giving him a fun name just because I can, but you don't have to. Now, under the flares, if you click that, you can say Fusion Request. Click that, apply, and this is how I'm going to be submitting all the images here, is as image requests that I will then comment reply with pictures, like with the results of this. And so I'm gonna just pretend to be two users here. So I'm like, oh, I want to see these two come together. And it could be just, it doesn't even have to be photo bashed. It could just be like a reference or two pictures next to each other. But Now we're going to come up to VC Create here, and we're gonna make him. All right. I saw Mavis as a Mickey as well, and now we're gonna do Pickle Hogan, product photography of a pickle. Okay, yeah, and it just I see no jar. That makes sense. That's so weird. Pickle Rick, Hulk Hogan, and then we'll do image weighted 2, just to see what we get out of that. Maybe we'll get what we want. And yeah, and feel free to spin off and create your own stuff here. So let's do let's take Mavis's prompt here actually. So product photography of a pickle, no jar. It makes sense to add a negative prompt on this, but the third one here is already really close in terms of like what I was expecting, which was like a Shrekified Hulk Hogan, right? So look at that. That's kind of amazing. You could
really
literally
amazing.
you could literally just take this now, copy, come back into Photoshop here. It will mute our what work we've done. Let's go with that. And then just paste our new generated image that's here on that. And you can basically like retroactively recreate some of the prompts to fix some of like the weird jagged edges and things like that you get with just grabbing images on Google, right? First put on a opacity of like 50%, and then I'll actually just flip the base image here because, or sorry, this one here, yeah, and essentially try to line these up through the transparency just to see where they're at. Let's go with that here. Sorry that my cat keeps screaming, y'all.
I like it. I think it's cute.
All right, let's go ahead and rasterize this sucker here. It already is. Okay, cool. Get rid of that. And in fact, we can turn on contiguous. Turn off contiguous, I mean. And then remove all the selections from the inside headband. And contiguous is great for removing kind of odd jagged edges. So you can see it's a lot better now. But I'm going to go ahead and do an expansion. Modify, select, modify, expand. And we won't have to do too high because we don't want to lose a lot of that hair. So we'll just do 1. Boom. That's good enough. We probably want to put a background on them too, but for now, I can just do a really, really, really dirty eraser with no lowered opacity.
I feel like he's looking into my soul.
Right. Let me swap over to just tablet only, so it's a little more. He can look even more into your soul. There you go. But you can see here that essentially what I need to do is I need to find a point where there's transition between the two, and the hair kind of invades here a bit. So like I want to come up a little higher, and I want to get rid of this. And if you know your way around Photoshop, you can get quite far just with blending modes. But for the sake of what we're doing here, what I'm going to do is drop him down a little bit here. And then I am going to actually come in and try to gen fill the border between the two, just to see what we get out of that. With this, I think I'm going to take the next 10 minutes to accept more suggestions and read off some of your stuff. And if we run into another Freaky Friday, we'll keep doing this. I think this is a lot of fun for this specific kind of day. But maybe we can figure out a way to do this on a semi-regular basis. But I really do like the results we're getting. I think that when it comes to the streams today, I try to get to the 4 hour point, and we're almost at the 3 hour point. But I also have to be aware of my voice. I streamed for about 5 hours yesterday. All right,
I
cool,
was
cool.
actually thinking maybe you wanted to carry it over on whatever we do during the Halloween thing.
Yeah, that would be a
It would be
lot of
cool.
fun. Actually,
I think it would
okay,
make
here.
sense.
All right, here's the challenge then. This is what I'm gonna pitch you all. I want you guys to actively use that subreddit as somewhere to go, and what we'll do is we'll build up enough material for the Halloween stream, and just kind of go nuts on that. It'll also be a place where we can discuss ideas for how to use this imagery in a very like interactive or otherwise like media of some sort. And I want to hear all those suggestions. So it's a little tough for me to hear everything while we're streaming. So it'll be really fun to just see what you guys are up to, in terms of trying to make Space Jam 2 a reality. I really want to do that. This sounds like so much fun. Um, and for the folks that might not have seen this earlier, while I'm kind of looking through some of your all's last minute suggestions here, I do have a thing that I had made that just shows you to what state that we're in terms of the technology. And yeah, it's just incredible what we're able to do now. So let me go ahead and grab that real quick. Here's a snippet of what I can do now with visual effects, AI animation, and Midjourney imagery. So yeah, I'm not kidding about I'm really not kidding about trying to make this a real thing. Like I'm really not. I have the technology. Actually we have the technology. I have the experiences, and I am a former visual effects artist, so I'll be able to really go ham with anything that we kind of make together, to the point
Oh,
where
ham.
yeah, go ham, go ham. AC needs to start posting ham. But the it's literally, we have the power to actually make a feature length anime now. Like, isn't that nuts? So if you guys want to do that, subscribe to Space Jam 2. Because that's where I'm gonna do it. Um, I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I'm aiming for April Fool's Day. If I can drop Space Jam 2 on April Fool's Day, oh my god, like that would be amazing. Just amazing to see the reaction to that. And the internet would love that. Like absolutely love to be able to,
Absolutely.
let's be like, wait a minute, what? A feature length version of a fan made Space Jam just came out? Oh, let's watch it. Like I can totally see the internet going nuts for that. And we just don't mention AI at all. We just say like, look, it's Space Jam. Enjoy. Like, and we go from there. But I'll hop back over to the VC text here and see what we got. Yes, please someone come inject some horror into it, Becky, if you're a redditor, please. Let's see comments here. The pickle the pickle look Will Ferrell. Okay, yeah, I could see a Will Ferrell pickle. I met him. Blah, blah, blah. I have to see. I have to kind of catch up with the chat here a little bit. Skeletor merged with Bob Ross. Yes. All right. Skeletor, Bob Ross. Okay, let's do Skeletor. I have to, because there's a lot of funny faces with Skeletor. I know that the creators of it never intended it to be as funny as it is, but Skeletor is like such a funny looking character. But let's go ahead and I'll worry about Pickle Hogan later. But now we got to get Bob Ross. just pretty little trees or pretty happy little accidents. You know what I mean? Just some joke related to that. I can see with Bob Ross now. Let's see here. I want to get a good one that kind of matches the angle a little bit. I actually did an AI animated video a while back with Bob Ross, where Bob Ross uses a keyboard. Like it's basically the entire premise of it was Bob Ross is afraid to use the undo button. Like he's afraid to hit Control Z on his keyboard because he likes every mistake. Like it's that was the whole premise of the video. But I'll go ahead and just hit large on the sizes of images, and that will get us a much better selection of pictures here. I need one him looking at, and that's surprisingly hard to do because like there's so much of him looking away from camera. You know what I mean? Like it makes sense. All right, so I'm going to now object select him. Whoop. I'm going to make sure his collar's in there too because that's kind of funny. Okay, that'll be fine. And I'll mute this, post this, and we'll flip this image around so that the neck makes sense. Yes, this is great. It's almost like he's wearing a hoodie with this too, so that works. Let's go ahead and just go with something like that, and then I will come in with the brush here and just start deleting our arbitrary stuff. But what I tend to do is just drop the opacity to see where like the hoodie and stuff is. But if you have trouble telling like visually where things are, you can also, instead of using opacity, you can use blending modes and just kind of cycle through them until you can see what you have to trace around. Like see here, now I have a nice clean line for me to follow. Blending modes are amazing. And when you get really good at them, you'll be able to mask and work with Photoshop so much faster because you will understand how color works, how luminance works. You'll be able to basically make things 10 times faster, if not more, just by understanding how those blending modes interact with color and light and everything else, color saturation, luminance, that kind of stuff. So I don't want to take away too much from his cheeks or nothing like that. So this is good enough actually. Let's just go ahead and grab that, and let's roll with this one here. Now I need to make this a Bob Ross joke though, right? So we're gonna grab a paintbrush, and I'm gonna turn the staff into a paintbrush. So let's grab this one here. Let's say a dirty paintbrush because that's going to evoke more of what I imagine Bob Ross's actual paints look like brushes look like. So let's do a large image of that. Let's the blue would actually look good, but that's not really dirty. I think. Well, the thing is about this is that we really want to more go for a used brush as opposed to a dirty brush because it's going to evoke all sorts of weird color issues here. So I'm just going to use this one here. And then I'm going to paste that into there. And let's go ahead and get rid of this.
Bob used to beat the devil out of his brushes.
You're right, right. Oh man, I love that phrase so much. All right, cool. So let's take a look at this. Boop, boop, boop. That looks good. Now what I want to do is I want to put the hands in here, right? Just because that's going to really sell this here. So let's go ahead, grab the brush, drop the opacity just so I can see it. And there's ways to do this better, by the way. Like we could literally just keep the staff and have the brush be the top part of it. Because there's like so much lettering and stuff, I think that's actually what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and rasterize this really quick. Drop that opacity again. And now I'm just going to erase all the way up to the line there. There are cleaner ways to do this, like more proper ways to do this. This is just how I do it because I want to work very quickly. Alrighty. Boom. There we go. This works. So I want to come into here and just do one little gen fill here because it is a little dark. behind the brush, and I don't like that. So I'm just going to do that real quick. Let's go ahead and grab this, and I'll get rid of some of the white area around this. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like when we don't fully recreate the backgrounds with this one. Paste this. No. It's still funny.
Here I was
Don't
worried
get
that Majority was gonna think you were giving him pickle nipples.
Right. Yeah, no. Wow, that and angelic information, like they're having fun with that. But all right, let's go ahead and paste this image here, and then do Bob Ross Skeletor. And I'm only going to set an aspect ratio of 3:2 to make it a little wider.
I'd like to see He-Man dressed up as, or the Hulk dressed up as He-Man fighting Skeletor Bob Ross.
You're right. Yeah, we should definitely. That would be so funny. I would love to see the Hulk like grab a tree, and he's like, "No, pretty little tree," and it's just like, okay, all right. Look what we got out of this. Look at that. Look at that.
That's amazing.
That's nightmare fuel. It's great. I really like the second one a lot. Let me up-res that, because that is like literally what we just prompted, right? But it shows you the real power of using the image, like doing photo bashing ahead of time. It lets you be able to like get a completed image rather than like having to like in-paint your solutions, right? So look at this. Look at that. I mean, that is literally Skeletor Bob Ross. Like I am just so amazed by that little photo bash of a brush. Just is such a night and day difference. It's amazing. That shit is just very unfortunate. Let's see. So okay, 90s anime uwu. Sorry, I merged two prompts together there. Hold on. This is just, I believe, Scooby Doo mixed with Bob Ross. Let's see what these two pictures are here. So we got Bob Ross and Skeletor. Okay, yes. So it's the Scooby Doo look is coming from the Skeletor art style, and I yeah, it blending is great, but the problem with blending is just like I get to the point where it looks like I can see that it's a median. I can see that it's finding a middle zone, and we're not really making middle grounds with what we're doing here. We're trying to make original characters, in a way that is like very dynamic and interesting. But I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a blend. I'm just saying that that's part of the difference that we're getting here. AC put 90s anime woo ham bankai. Bankai. I don't know how to pronounce that last word, but
Okay.
yeah.
Click the image link.
Image link. Okay. Is it
Yeah.
just the ham? Yes. It's okay. Yes, that's a very cute little ham. So I'm a vegetarian, right? And it's like meat particularly skeeves me out, right? And it's really funny to me, just like you made it cute. You just made slabs of flesh cute. Yeah, it's very 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 fun. Bob Ross as a blue Hellboy holding a brush. This is from 1984 Drum. This is not an image prompt or a photo bash or anything like that. This is what a pure text prompt looks like, and you can kind of get an idea of what sort of direction you want to go in with this stuff. I have to get rid of all the ham. Let's just compare these three results just to give you guys an idea of what choosing the path that you want to take when it comes to this stuff. You're most familiar with prompting, obviously. If you've been here for a bit, you've been prompting with just text. If you blend images together, you're finding a median between the two images or multiple images that you're including. A median being somewhere in between the two, most likely pretty dead center to the two. But if we do a photo bash and inject that, what we get is a completely original character, because you are injecting the imagery in a way that that doesn't have any frame of reference to any embedded information inside of the prompt itself. Like by comparison, by blending two images together, there's some element of interrogation that happens. It just lets you guys get an idea of what direction you want to go in. You can kind of tell that it's a little bit of like a median between these two. You know what I mean? But that's entirely speculative on my part. We have Becky and her chickens. Gotta love Becky and her chickens. I have a feeling Becky has some chickens, or at least did have chickens growing up or something. This is great. Thank you so much for zooming out on this, because this is literally like this is the exact kind of content that I want to inspire Space Jam 2. Because it's just, we have the technology to do this in such a decentralized and wild way that the idea of Bob Ross fighting a AI character as Skeletor sounds really funny to me. Just really funny to me. Now it's probably just to me, honestly, but yes, this is amazing, and I can't wait to share this. At the end of the day, what we see here, and I'll swap back over here. What we're seeing out of all these images that you guys have made, you have literally just casted the villains for my film through this game that we've played here. There's a couple fun results that are just largely Mavis injecting his face into things, but I'm going to try to make parodies and homages to things that people will recognize right away, like stuff like this, right? And then create the characters and the narratives and stuff entirely based on what you guys suggest. So here's a cat dog. This was done by Throckwaddle. Hey, Throckwaddle, it's good to see you again. Very, very long cat dog, and then he combined probably my image here. Yes, okay, perfect. So this is like the closest we've gotten to like an actual cat dog, and he's like got a couple more here. But I'll bring this up bigger so you guys can see. Look at that. That's so weird and broken, but it's there. It's certainly a cat dog. So there you go. We'll kind of come back up into here. We got a couple more. We got Dio as Loki. That's pretty fun. And I still love this one. This Luigi Lugia. That is so cool. And as we like keep going up here, we've kind of gone through a lot of these. I need to leave this one up for a moment, just because it's so freaking funny to me. To see Vic's hair on a minion like that. But I'm gonna go through text here real quick, and I see Clutch said he's on his phone, so he can't contribute. It's all no worries, man. That's what the subreddit's for. Feel free to submit to r-space jam 2, and we'll make a fan made version of that. I'm gonna just go through your all's questions here real quick. I think that's a great way to end the stream here. So the joyful art of Skeletor Ross, yes. All right. So the joyful art of Skeletor Ross, yes, I really do dig that. Candid portraits on Earthwise are so cartoony. I know, right? The more you zoom out and stuff, the more likely you're going to start losing whatever, because it's basing all of that imagery off of the bordering like halves of the frame, right? So like it basically, whenever you're panning, if you want to have two characters talk to each other and not have them influence each other in terms of their shape or imagery, you have to have two pans. You have to pan once with a kind of an empty or void, or not use the word void, but just try to make the space open and empty. So if you have two characters talking at a cafe, your pan should not be the other character. It most likely should be the cafe. It's just something for it to sit between the two characters. So then when you pan again, and you change the code to represent your other character, that way your characters are not merging together features. That's how I do it anyway. So let's see. Thank you for injecting horror into it. Let's see here. Yeah, BC, because of the entertainment industry. Yeah, BC is big. Canada's huge for entertainment nowadays. And I think that basically catches us up here. Getting a legal opinion, check stuff you're doing is safe, can cost a lot. So it's better to be safe than sorry, unless you're looking to make a business out of it. I'll say this, like, you have a lot of liberties as a individual, right? as somebody who is not trying to commercialize or otherwise make money off of what they do. You're just making fan art. You're just making fan fictions. And understand that just because it's a fan fiction doesn't mean that it can't become something quote unquote real later. It just needs to be changed and adapted so that it doesn't violate any sort of existing ownership. Sorry, go ahead.
Can't wait until you hear Mavis speak one day.
Like I said, I heard it once.
Okay.
I didn't mean to say it. I do admit I once called someone's baby it, and that really upset them. So I've been very consciously aware of like, and it was something where it's like, if I remember right, I was picking. It's like, do I just pick it up? Was like my statement because I was a very awkward teen. Can I
I
just
once
pick
called
it up?
someone's baby puppy.
Oh yeah.
I was like, puppy! And then it was like, what the hell did I just say?
I had a girl that we were on Orcas Island with my wife. We were all hanging out and stuff. And Orcas Island, Washington is a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous place to go. But we were at a campground, and there's this cute little puppy, like the cutest little puppy that came out from the darkness from someone's tent that just wanted to like lick her feet or something, right? But my friend, who was a little not sober, was like screaming, just suddenly blood curdling screams that were coming from her. And she was just, oh my God, I didn't think that was a puppy. I thought it was like some demonic thing. And like, she was just really freaking out about it. And I still remember that we were like, oh look, it's a cute puppy, and then just blood curdling screams in my ear. Like it all happened in the same moment. Yes, Orcas is amazing. Thank you, Becky. I'm so glad you know about it. You have to take a ferry to get there, but it's amazing. I had a buddy that lived there for years. And I can correct him every time he prompts something wrong. Yeah, good. Okay, cool. I think I'm gonna leave it there, guys. This was a lot of fun. It's about 7:20 now, so about 40 minutes before my normal cutoff. But I'm really enjoying this, and it was a lot of fun to do. Please be sure to to take anything you guys want to submit and submit it to Space Jam too. That would be a great place to post this stuff. Um, I know that Midjourney's Discord can be very chaotic sometimes, so this is a very fresh subreddit, so your stuff is going to get seen much more on a tiny sub like that. Right, especially as I start pumping attention to it. So, um, yeah, I'll post the link again here. I'll even post it in VC Create. It'll fly by while you guys are making stuff, but I'll even post it there so that anyone that sees that at least might catch it. And I'll
Talk about
find
the
time.
fish.
I'll find time to to actually collect all these and put them in. But for now, here's the link. And I think that's about it for me. I'll chop in the chat here one last time just to see minion me. But I wonder if I should use Reddit or create a new one for this. That is my usual Reddit. If you're a traditional artist, I highly recommend making a second account. There's way too much conflict right now. If you're a traditional artist, you should have two portfolios, a generative portfolio and a regular portfolio. It's going to be a long time before, at least in my opinion, it's going to be a long time before people are okay with seeing generative imagery in their stuff. Were you influenced by Ray Harryhausen? I have to look up who that is actually, so probably not. But thank you for all the reactions there onto the Space Jam link. That's really cool to see, just a bunch of blobby guys moving around dancing. That's fun. We will eventually do the what is it? I will eventually get to the point where we do a VTuber stream as well. So like you guys can make your own VTubers and stuff like that. And it might be kind of fun to be able to get to the point where we have like there's a scene from Ghost in the Shell, the animated series, the animated series for Ghost in the Shell, where everybody is inside of like a chat room, like they visualize what a chat room looks like in a cybernetic world where everyone has robot brains, and it's literally like a debate forum, like a circular room with a bunch of people sitting and staring at each other. Um, there's a lot of potential for doing that kind of thing. Yay, it's the virtual chat room. Thank you so much for posting that. I'll mute it so that it's not too invasive or anything on my feed here. This scene is actually a major inspiration for me on on what on what it could look like to I'll leave it at that. Thank you guys so much for coming and checking out my little stream here. Um you can see that I'm just gonna leave here, watch Ghost in the Shell for the rest of the day, so that sounds fun. But you'll have a great rest of your Friday. It's spooky season, so be spooky. And yeah, I really dig it, guys. Thank you so much for joining.